So welcome to this latest video 162 Maths, and in this video we're going over a GCSE Maths topic of expanding and simplifying triple brackets and going through some past exam questions. Now as always I'll include a copy of the questions that we go through this in video, and I'll also go over what it is you actually need to revise and also include a lesson link that goes over this topic in greater detail in the description below. Now once you are confident expanding and simplifying double brackets or a single bracket squared, expanding triple brackets may seem pretty easy. However, though the concept may be the same, students often lose marks mainly due to mental errors and poor presentation. Now when I say mental errors, I'm talking about doing more work into your head rather than actually writing it down. Now to maximise marks in this topic, it is vital that you develop a presentation technique and understand the concept of comparing coefficients, as well as being able to become confident and comfortable writing and reading algebraic terms. Now there are several techniques you can use to correctly and expand and simplify triple brackets, so as easy as it may seem and or dismissive a topic that doesn't require revision or practice, it is vital that you do so, as often these questions can be worth 3 or more marks. Now without further ado, let's get started on practicing some past exam questions on triple brackets. Now again, a little reminder, if you're wanting access to all the questions that we go through in this video, all you need to do is just simply click on the link in the description. So looking at question 1, it says for us to expand x, and then we've got x minus 3, x plus 1. Now it might seem we've got a double bracket question here, but we're actually multiplying 3 algebraic terms together. Now for this you can either decide whether you want to expand the first two things or the last two things. Now me personally, I much prefer to expand the last two things first. So here I've got x, and I don't forget writing that because I always write that with every line just so that I don't forget it. And then all I've then got to do is expand this. Now if you've done this enough, you might be able to do this in your head, but if not, then just write it out as you were. So you can either use loops or you can use a grid. It's entirely up to you. I personally prefer loops just because I've done this enough times and also find it's very quick and easy to get it done. However, you are more likely to make a mistake using this method than you are potentially with the grid method. But again, it's all about personal choice. So expanding this out, what I end up with is x squared plus x, and then I'm going to end up with minus 3x minus 3. So then simplifying that bracket, what I end up with is x squared minus 2x minus 3. And then all that's left for me to do is multiply everything in the bracket with that x. So that's going to be x cubed minus 2x squared minus 3x. And there is my final answer. Moving on to question 2, it says here we've got actual 3 brackets. And again, note that it's also worth 3 marks. So again, just pick 2 brackets that you want to expand first. Now, again, it's entirely up to you which 2 brackets you multiply out first. Again, me personally, I've developed a technique which allows me to do this quickly and efficiently by expanding the last 2 brackets. So here I've got x plus 2. And then just to save a bit of time, if I expand and simplify those 2 brackets I've highlighted in yellow, I'm going to get x squared plus 3x minus 4. Now, from this, what I'm then do is multiply everything in the second bracket by the thing that's first in the first bracket. So here I'm going to multiply by x. So here I've got x cubed plus 3x squared minus 4x. So then all that's left for me to do is then multiply out the second bracket by the second term. So here I've got 2 times x squared, which is 2x squared. Now notice how I'm going to put a column of the x squareds down in each column to make it easier for me to collect those common coefficients together. So here I've got 2 times 3x, which is 6x, and that's positive, and 2 times negative 4, which is minus 8. So all that's left for me to do is then add the terms together, and as you can see, as I've got nice little columns, it makes it a whole lot easier for me to join them all up. So looking at this, I've got x cubed, I've got 3x squared plus 2x squared, which is 5x squared, and that's positive. Minus 4 plus 6 is plus 2, and minus 8. So there is my final answer. Moving on to question 3. So again, adopting the same technique. So I've got x plus 6, and then expanding these 2 things here, I get x squared minus 5x plus minus 6. And then expanding the brackets out, I've got x cubed minus 5x squared minus 6x, then 6x squared minus 30x minus 36. And then again, adding them to all up, I get x squared minus 5 plus 6 is plus 1, in which I could write 1x or just leave it as x squared. Minus 6 plus minus 30 is minus 36x and minus 36, and there is my answer for that one. Moving on to question 4. So this one's asking me to compare the coefficients. So what I want to do is I want to expand this out first and then compare it to the right hand side. So expanding this out first, what I end up with is x plus 1, and then I'm going to end up with x squared plus ax plus 5x plus 5a. Then expanding this out, I get x cubed plus ax squared plus 5x squared plus 5ax. And then, so all I've done there is just expanded those out. And then I need to multiply everything by the 1, so that becomes 1x squared plus ax plus 5x plus 5a. Now, looking at the coefficients, now again, it's very difficult for me to add all of those things together, so I could basically add these two things here together, and I could add these two things together. But apart from factorising, that's pretty much it. So what I then want to do is compare the coefficients. So if I look at the coefficients of x cubed, well, x squared actually, because x cubed is going to be single on both. So looking at the coefficients of x squared, on the left hand side, things that I've got an x squared, well, I've got this, and I've got this. So it's going to be a plus 5 plus 1. And on the right hand side, how many x squareds have I got? Well, I've got b. So that means that 6a 6 plus a equals b. So then if I look at the coefficients of x, so again, highlighting everything that's got an x, and let me just get rid of some of these highlighted, and as you can see, I'm getting rid of more than what I should. And let me just add those back in. And that was ax, and that was 5. So there we go, I think that's right. So then comparing the things with coefficients of x, so I'm looking for things that have got a single x. Well, that's got a single x, that's got a single x, and that's got a single x. So on the left hand side, I've got 5a plus 5, and on the right hand side, I've got c. So that then simplifies to give me 6a plus 5 equals c. Then looking at the coefficients of the constant, then on the left hand side, so things that haven't got an x, well, things that haven't got an x is this, and that's it. So it's just 5a. And on the right hand side, the constant is minus 45. So that means that 5a equals minus 45, so a equals minus 9. So then from this, I can then work out what the others are going to be. So going back to this here, I know that I've got 6 plus minus 9 equals b, so b equals minus 3. So I can write minus 9 minus 3. And then now that I know the value of a, I can then substitute it to work out c. So 6 times minus 9 plus 5 equals c. So 6 times minus 9 is minus 54, plus 5 is minus 49. So the answer then for C is minus 49, and there are my 3 answers. Now again, if you've got those answers rather particularly quicker than that using a different method, then that's absolutely fine, because like I said, as it's worth 3 marks, you would get 1 mark for each correct value of A, B and C. Moving on to question 5, it says that Oscar attempts to expand and simplify x minus 2 cubed. He writes his answer as he does without expanding any brackets. Explain how you know Oscar's answer is incorrect. Well, the reason why we know Oscar's answer is incorrect is because minus 2 cubed is not positive 8, it's minus 8. So the reason why we know is because minus 2 cubed is minus 8, not positive 8. Then for question 5b, it says find the correct simplified expansion of x minus 2 cubed. So again, writing this out, recognizing it is triple brackets. So then expanding this, I get x minus 2, and I'm going to get x squared minus 4x plus 4. And again, just be mindful of your negatives. Then from this, what we can then do is expand it out. So I've got x cubed minus 4x squared plus 4x, and then minus 2x squared plus 8x minus 8. Add them together and we get x cubed minus 6x squared plus 12x minus 8. Then moving on to question 6, it says expand and simplify. So again, this time we've got multiple coefficients of x. So again, just develop which 2 brackets you're going to expand first. So I've got 2x plus 1. And then expanding these 2 things out here. And again, just be mindful. Sometimes these types of ones can't be done, a lot more challenging to do mentally. So again, you might want to just expand it out. So if I expand it out properly, I get 3x squared minus 9x plus 2x minus 6. So that gives me an answer of 2x plus 1. And then 3x squared minus 7x minus 6. And then expanding out, I get 6x cubed minus 14x squared minus 12x, and then 3x squared plus minus 7x minus 6. And then joining them all together, I get 6x cubed minus 11x squared minus 19x minus 6. Then moving on to question 7. So this one, again, a little bit more challenging because we've got no numbers involved. But again, recognizing that this is x plus y, x plus y, x plus y. Then expanding this out, what I end up with is x plus y. And I'm going to get x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. And then expanding the terms out, I get x cubed plus 2x squared y plus xy squared. And then I'm going to get plus x squared y plus 2xy squared plus y cubed. And then all that's left for me to do is just expand and simplify. Now the only things that will simplify are going to be this here with this and this with this. So joining them all together, I get a final answer of x cubed plus 3x squared y plus 3xy squared plus y cubed, and there is my final answer for that one. Just again, just make sure that your powers of 2 look like 2's and your 3's look like 3's. Then moving on to our last question, it says expand and simplify x plus 5 and then x minus 3y squared. Now again, recognizing that this is x plus 5, x minus 3y, x minus 3y, and then simplifying this, we get x plus 5 and then x squared minus 6xy plus 9y squared. And then expanding that out, what do we get? Well, we're going to get x cubed minus 6x squared y plus 9xy squared, and then multiplying out these three things, so we get plus 5x squared minus 30xy plus 45y squared. And to my knowledge, I don't think that will simplify, so that there is my final answer. And there we go.